Enjoy.
Thank you. Hello. So I'm going to start with a novel statistic. 80% of content created by marketing teams for sales never makes it to a single customer. So this is 80% of your marketing budgets that are going into a black hole. And this was a problem that was felt acutely by our founders in their previous roles at Microsoft. They were running marketing teams spending tens of millions of dollars on content, and they would go out to their field and they would find reps using the same 3-year-old PowerPoint deck off-brand saved to their laptop. So they decided to start a company to solve this problem. And it's a problem that is plagued by a multitude of disorganized content on Google Drives and OneDrives and SharePoints and Box.net. And what they decided to do was build a product that allowed sales and marketing to actually collaborate through content. And this product is called Highspot. Now, 6 years on, of course, we're all grown up. We have 200 plus customers. We have international offices. This problem now has its own market category. It's known as sales enablement. But for the purpose of today's talk, I asked our founders, what are some key decisions that they made early on in the genesis of the company that we believe contributed to our breakthrough growth? So number one, we knew that if we were going to be successful, that we would have to win over companies that had literally tens of thousands of sales reps. And sales reps don't always have time to take the product training. They don't always have time to watch the videos. So we knew that we needed to build software that was intuitive to walk up to and be able to be familiar with and use first time. So for this, we turned to inspiration to the consumer web. We turned to the layouts of Pinterest. We turned to the way that iTunes and Spotify organized thousands of songs into lists, and we turned to the familiar affordances of Google search. And what we built was enterprise software that, while under the hood is actually pretty complex, feels very familiar when you first use it and allows busy sales reps to onboard very quickly. Secondly, we were very familiar that a death march for enterprise software is feature bloat. Many, many tools sync that way. And also concept bloat is another problem where you start out with some kind of core, simple IA or information architecture, and over time it gets more complex and your software effectively becomes unusable. So we were very ruthless about coming up with the right information architecture off the bat and then keeping that simple. So after many months of debate and testing and prototyping and arguments, we came up with an information architecture that looked like this. Items would represent files and assets. They would be organized into collections. We called those spots. And then lists would help you organize items in spots. And 6 years later, despite all of the features and capabilities and integrations that we've added, our value prop is unrecognizable from where it was back then. Our information architecture at the core looks exactly the same. And we believe that's one of the reasons that we have been able to maintain that strong user affinity and stop our product from becoming bloated and confusing. And number three, so we knew that to be successful, our product would have to have some form of analytics or reporting in it around the performance of your content, because you need to know which 80% is not performing and which 20% is. Now, we have a fundamental problem when it comes to organizing documents in that content changes over time. So marketing teams are always tweaking the company deck. Salespeople are always personalizing content. So the fundamental thing that we are trying to report on is changing. And that's a real problem, and none of our competitors were solving it. So we turned to a vision we had with a then emerging technology called machine learning. You may have heard of it now. And we thought about a way that we could solve this problem, but it would require a real trade-off. It required a lot of investment, essentially forced us to build 2 of the identical information graphs faceted by different aspects. But we took the leap, we solved the problem, and even though we didn't have the most fully featured analytics tool on the market, we won the position of being the most innovative in our space. We were also able to patent this, and it also helped us with our Series B round, which was led by an AI fund out of Salesforce Ventures. So, when you combine these things, consumer-driven design, ruthless simplicity in the core IA, and bet on emerging technology 6 years ago, what you get today essentially is enterprise software that doesn't suck, which is a really rare thing. And we routinely see 90% adoption rates, even in large enterprise organizations that have thousands of sales reps. So what's next? Well, we are growing. We just closed our Series C round. We are opening more international offices this year. We have a very exciting product roadmap, and we are doubling our Seattle headcount over the course of 2019. So if you want to come and help build enterprise software that doesn't suck, my name is John. I am head of product at Highspot, and we are hiring. Thank you. Did I make it? Questions? Okay, I made the 5 minutes. We can do questions.
What technologies are you expecting your developers to be well-versed in?
So front end, we are moving everything to React, and then back end is all Ruby with a bunch of other machine learning stuff that I'm not qualified to talk about, but I could totally answer that question afterwards. Other questions? Front row? So the question is for our customers' sales teams? Yes, okay. So the question is, how long is the sales team onboarding? So our ramp is about 3 months, and then reps are held to quota around 4 to 6 months, depending on the segment that they work in. Question, where are we located in Seattle? So as of yesterday, we actually have 2 offices. We have one in Belltown and one in Pioneer Square, which houses our product engineering and design teams. Are we hiring non-technical positions? I would say at this point we are hiring literally every position that you could imagine. We have the most hiring velocity in our product design and engineering roles, both front end and back end. But we're also hiring all across our marketing, sales, and operations teams as well. Any other questions? Cool. Thank you very much.